Hi, and welcome to Lesson 13. Are you ready? It's time to talk love languages. Now, there is a famous book in the relationship self-help genre called The Five Love Language, and it was written by Gary Chapman. The Five Love Languages is a perennial seller and has made its way around the internet as a quiz and a source that couples rely on. This book is based on what psychologists call a model. It's a way of categorizing things that seem useful, whether or not those categories represent real things. There are two mainstays of Chapman's model. The first is that there are different love languages: touch, words of affirmation, quality time, gifts, and acts of service. The second is that each person has a primary love language that means through which they most directly feel loved. One person might care a lot about hearing that they're doing a good job. That's words of affirmation. Whereas another person might care a lot about knowing someone carved time out of their busy day to spend together. And that would be quality time. While everyone is going to appreciate any positive act directed their way to some extent, love languages are a good way to put your finger on what's going to matter most. One misconception about love languages is that they're about how a person expresses love. While you can certainly think about them in that way, Chapman goes on to pains in his book to show us that they're about the way a person feels loved. The point is not to figure out how you most conveniently and effortlessly express love, but how to make your partner feel most valued. If such a mismatch between love languages goes unidentified, it can be a major source of tension in a relationship. When what makes your partner feel most valued doesn't come naturally to you, simply having a label to put on that discrepancy can make an improvement. But there's another thing which has gone underappreciated about love languages. It's sort of a consequence of Chapman's model. Your primary love language is not only the most direct way to make you feel loved, it's also your biggest vulnerability. It's where you are most exposed for someone to hurt you. Take touch, for instance. Touch is relatively low on my personal ranking of love languages. That means that touch simply does not matter all that much to me. If someone I love expresses their feelings through touch, then I'm unlikely to be as sensitive to it as if they did so through acts of service. My primary love language is acts of service. But the flip side is that it's difficult to make me uncomfortable through touch. If someone I don't know gets overly touchy, it's not especially unpleasant for me. It may be weird, but it's not necessarily unpleasant or odd. It isn't something that I'm going to be circling back to throughout the day and marinating in the uneasiness of that social interaction. But that's not true for the people I know who have touch as their primary language. Unwanted touch makes them really disconcerted. I'm much more sensitive to acts of service. The most efficient way to hurt my feelings is to agree to do something with me or for me and then bail at the last minute. This is something I take seriously. Chapman's five love languages aren't just useful because they describe a strategy for making people feel good. They are outlines of the qualities we are most sensitive to in a social interaction. And as such, they can go both ways. They can make us feel deeply loved, or they can make us feel despised. One of the reasons that Chapman's model has been so successful is that it gives us something to aim for, and not just a single target, but five of them. Instead of getting bogged down in the abstract dictum to make your partner feel appreciated, love languages are something more concrete that we can put into practice. More than that, they allow us to be tuned in to our partner's unique sensitivities. Love languages sketch an answer to why they may feel undervalued, even when you are attempting to express to them their worth. But we also need to be cognizant of the opposite effect. Knowing someone's love language is like learning their true name. It may give you insight into who they are deep down, but it also gives you power over them, which can be used for better or for worse. So, be kind. Take care. Enjoy this lesson, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.